and welcome. You are at the foot of Titus's bed. Titus is my 2-year-old son, and yeah, gotta love that Paw Patrol. He has all of his big fluffy pillows piled at the bottom just because we don't want him like suffocating in the night. But anywho, these are my 5 tips for helping kiddos sleep. And if you're like me, and you're a parent, you've probably seen every stage of sleep deprivation that can occur or going through it right now. I think it's pretty much across the board that all parents have to deal with lack of sleep. Yeah, those kiddos, they're rough. And with mine, it's all the way across. Like, it's crazy. My 5-year-old doesn't want to go to sleep at night, even though my 2-year-old and my 1-year-old totally cool with it. Like, yeah, let's go to sleep. My 1-year-old has some issues staying asleep all throughout the night, whether it's, I don't know, bad dreams or not being comfortable or what. Yeah, that's her time. And my 2-year-old, he doesn't like sleeping in. He is an early bird. He likes to get up and get his day going. So we've heard probably every tip possible for helping your kiddos get to sleep, helping them stay asleep all night, and there's some pretty common tips. Read to them before you go to bed, having a bath with lavender and just all these different things. And they work pretty good, but I have 5 tips that just really work for our family that might not be some you've ever heard. And some you may have, I don't know. But they're what works for us, and hopefully they'll work for you. So tip number 1, noise. And I know. What do you mean noise? Like, that's just crazy. But it's one of the first tips ever given to me, and it was given to me by someone I really trust. So I rolled with it with all of my kids, and it seems to really make a difference. And what I mean by noise is when your kids take a nap during the day, continue to make your normal amount of noise. Don't crank up the radio like as soon as they go to bed, but just make your normal amount of noise. Like, don't just slack off on it. Because when we moved into this home, there's a heating and air unit right on the other side of this wall. And it's actually really loud when it cuts on and off. But my 2-year-old doesn't wake up because he's kind of used to noise while he naps. So it's fine. Now, if there's like a giant loud bang or something crazy, yeah, that's probably going to wake them up. But just normal stuff that happens or could happen, it doesn't seem to really faze them all that much. So it was a really awesome tip. And tip number 2, dark, thick curtains. My 2-year-old, the split second he sees light, he is up. And even though he is going to get up early on his own, probably about 6:30 or 7, that's usually his norm. I don't want him getting up any earlier because the sun starts to rise a little bit earlier. Or lovely neighbor right across the yard here, 5:30 in the morning, they're cutting on their car. And even with the blinds closed, the lights beam right into his bedroom and my bedroom. So we got some thick curtains for him and us, and they don't really look dark in this light, but they're really a dark blue, but they're good and thick. So you can see there's pretty decent amount of light in here. So the blinds are not down, but just putting down this, there we go. That is a pretty considerable difference, if I do say so. And it just helps him sleep that little extra bit. And there has been some nights, even with the blinds down, like the moon has been really bright. So the curtain has really made a difference. And tip number 3, an oil diffuser. I know that's kind of like the thing right now, but I'm serious. My 5-year-old was having terrible, terrible nightmares and was waking up all throughout the night. And, like I said, my 1-year-old has some trouble sleeping all throughout the night. My mother-in-law had read about an oil diffuser helping, and if you buy like certain oils for sleep. So she bought like a really small oil diffuser, and it has all these pretty little light settings, but we cut those off and just let it be dark. And the oils that we got is Kid Safe by Plant Therapy, and it's called Sweet Dreams. And the ingredients are sweet orange, juniper berry, coriander, blue tansy, and rose absolute. I don't know if you want to mix those up or if you want to buy it. But I don't really know what website she went to, but I'm sure you could just Google Kid Safe by Plant Therapy, Sweet Dreams, and you could probably find it pretty easy. But I'm not even kidding, her nightmares quit, and my littlest one actually started sleeping all throughout the night really well. And I don't know if it was just the little roar, you know, that comes from the oil diffuser, or if it was the oils itself, you know, just being relaxing or what, but this stuff works and I like it. So yeah, that's tip 3. And tip number 4, comfortable clothing. I know this probably seems so obvious, but there's actually a lot more to it than just, you know, putting on something that's soft. It's also got to be something that fits. You don't want something too tight that makes them restricted when they're trying to wiggle, because they do wiggle a lot in their sleep. And you also don't want something too loose. My 1-year-old, it was one night, I put on a sleeper. It was too big, but I thought, oh, it'll be fine. No. She starts crying in the middle of the night. I go in there, and her legs like got all bunched up somehow, like in the waist section, and the legs of her sleeper were all twisted up and tangled, and it was just a mess. I had to unzip it, get her out of it, and put on a different outfit, and so that interrupted her sleep. But also not just fitting just right and not being itchy or anything like that, but you got to make sure it's weather appropriate. You don't want your kiddo getting too hot or too cold in the night, especially like on spring, like we're in right now. It could be really warm during the day. Yesterday it was 87, I think, here, but then in the night it got pretty cold. So you want to make sure, even if it's a little warm when they're going to bed, that they're gonna stay, comfortable throughout the night. Yeah. And my 5-year-old, though, she's a little different. She gets super hot in the night. She sweats like crazy. So she always wants a tank top and shorts when she goes to bed, even in the winter. And we just usually try to put like an extra blanket or something in the winter, just in case. And if she doesn't want it in the middle of the night, she'll kick it off. But yeah, so that's tip 4. And my kids started fighting, and I had to pause the video to go take care of that. So mommy's tired. Mommy's gonna lay back. Oh, maybe exercise some of my tips for sleep. No, but okay. So tip number 5 is a clean floor. I know that probably sounds a little crazy, but there's been times where I have forgotten my phone in my kids' room, or I have forgotten to lay out their clothes for the night before, and it was one of those mornings where it just really needed to happen, like their clothes laid out. So, or maybe if you just want to go in there and check on them, whatever. But whatever the reason is you're having to sneak back in your kid's room, you don't want to trip over toys. I have seriously tripped over a baby doll stroller and slammed into their closet door and screamed. And it woke them up. And they were terrified. So you don't want that to happen. And also, if you have little ones that can get out of bed, if they're getting out of bed because of a nightmare or because they need to go potty, they're already probably going to be upset because they have to get up. You don't want them tripping over stuff and then you having to deal with someone who needs to go pee or who's scared and now they're hurt too. Yeah, and they're not going to be apt to really go back to bed after that. So yeah, my tips are make noise, dark thick curtains, oil diffuser, comfy clothes, and clean floor. And if you have older ones, they, probably can do it for you instead of you having to do it for them or even really having to help. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, that's my 5 tips. That's what works for us. Sorry, I got tongue-tied there. If you like this video, please give it a thumb up. If you try any of these tips and they work out for you, comment below. I'd love to know if they work for someone else too instead of just us. All right, see you guys next time. Bye. And a bonus tip. When I laid back, I landed on this. Make sure the toys are out of their bed and not under their pillows as well. All right, bye guys.